we're going to get into the weeds a little bit. What's the disaster recovery plan and a business continuity plan, and also the cyber recovery plan? These are plans that you suggest that businesses have ready to go.
Yeah. The disaster, so there's three different things there. The disaster recovery plan is exactly, is if there is a disaster. 9/11 showed us how vulnerable New York was to big disasters. And now the large financial institutions and banks, there's actually laws that require them to have multiple data centers that literally replicate all. So data center A is the main one, it's collecting, doing data, whatever. And B is over here ready. It's what's called hot standby. It's ready to go. So if this one, if a plane crashed into this one and brought it down, literally an automatic switch is flipped. This comes online and it looks good. That's disaster recovery. And then you'll try to rebuild this one and so forth. The business continuity plan, this is not so much for total wipeout disasters, but what if the power goes out? What if your internet connectivity gets cut? Someone in a backhoe in the parking lot cuts across your fiber optics line. So in that case, you would have multiple internet connections, and this one goes out, this one's still up. People are still alive, the building is operating, the business is operating, but you just had a continuity issue rather than a full onset disaster. And then, so this is, there are people that thought about it in advance, what can go wrong. They thought about if that went wrong, what I would have to have in place, and having this second data center in the first case was they decided if it cost us $100 million for this data center, we're going to spend $200 million because that's what you have to do. So you think it through, you think about what can go wrong, and you design your business processes and your other things around it. And the cyber case, it's a little different. You already indicated, because you may not know for a while that you have a problem. But when you do figure out you have a problem, it's virtual. Remember, it's software. It's not like you can send a bunch of guys with hard hats and tool belts into a data center and unplug something. It's not that easy. You have to have a lot of analytics and a lot of capability to understand exactly what's going on. And I guarantee you, if you've got one piece of malware that's causing you problems, you've got many others. So it's like the fire's been lit all over. Target, that was the case. It was all over their network. Sony was the same thing. It was all their routers were infected. So you have to, again, in the book I talk about this, you have to say, what can go wrong? What could go, and then how would I design around that? So automobiles. Let's go down that one for a minute on this one. Resilience, right? So what could go wrong? Well, I could hit a tree, right? And in 1960, if I hit a tree, I was dead. But if you hit a tree today, you're probably going to walk away. You may be bruised, you may be a little sore, whatever, but the airbag's going to keep you alive, the seatbelt's going to keep you in place, and you're going to walk away from hitting that tree. That's resilience. That's the way you need to think about these networks. You think, if this is my data center, and if the bad guys got in it, they're likely going to be shipping data out this way. I need to have special protections here. The other thing that's useful, just as in a car, what matters in a car? The human being. What matters in the data center? The data. And which data? Which do you really, what can't you lose? Where do you need to put all your focus on making sure that you don't lose that core piece of information? That's really important. And that's, if I were in a boardroom, I'd say, you just need to decide what's important to you guys. What's important, and then I can put a plan together for you.
And pull back from there.
Yeah, pull back from there. That's a cyber recovery plan.